drive.
Are you ready to dive deep into the rich history and evolution of American basketball? From its early days as a simple indoor game invented by a Canadian physical education instructor in 1891, to its current status as a global phenomenon with millions of fans and billion-dollar franchises, the story of basketball is truly an incredible one. Throughout the video, we'll uncover the top 10 most fascinating facts about the sport and explore how it has grown and changed over the years. From the first official game played in 1892 to the formation of the National Basketball Association, NBA, in 1949, we'll trace the evolution of the game and its impact on culture and society. But that's not all. We'll also discover how the game has become a global sport with players from all over the world, how it has changed the entertainment industry, how it has become a cultural symbol and how it has become a business. So, are you ready to join us on this journey and find out how American basketball has become one of the most popular and influential sports in the world? Stay tuned to find out. Number 1. It all began with a simple idea, a flicker of inspiration in the mind of a man named James Naismith. He was a Canadian physical education instructor and he was facing a problem that many educators have faced before and after him: how to keep students active and engaged during the long, dark days of winter. But James Naismith was not an ordinary man, he was a man with a brilliant mind and a boundless imagination. He knew that a new game was needed, a game that could be played indoors, a game that would capture the minds and bodies of his students. He delved into his memories and drew inspiration from a childhood game he used to play called Duck on a Rock. He combined it with elements of other sports like soccer and American football. He wrote the basic rules of the game on a piece of paper and hung it on the wall of the gymnasium. And thus, on December 21, 1891, the first game of basketball was played. It was a game that would change the world forever. The students loved it, they were engaged and active, and James Naismith knew he had a hit on his hands. He continued to refine and perfect the game, and within a few years, it had spread across the United States and around the world. The game of basketball has become a global phenomenon, captivating audiences around the globe with its fast-paced action and high-flying thrills. But it's not just about the game, it's about the man behind it. James Naismith was not only a sports inventor but a visionary who believed in the importance of physical activity and the impact it can have on people's lives. He wanted to improve the health and well-being of his students, and his invention of basketball was a solution to achieve it. His legacy lives on, his name forever etched in the annals of history as the inventor of one of the most popular and beloved sports in the world. A game that will live forever. Number 2. The first official game of basketball was played on a cold December day in 1892. The gymnasium was filled with a sense of anticipation and excitement. The students of James Naismith, the inventor of the game, were about to witness history in the making. The rules of the game were simple, written by Naismith himself on a piece of paper, but the impact it would have on the world would be immeasurable. The teams, consisting of Naismith students, took to the court, their eyes fixed on the peach basket hanging from the wall. The whistle blew and the game began. The students were learning the game as they played it, trying to master the new set of rules and figure out how to score. It was a battle of skill, strategy, and endurance, a test of the human spirit. The game was intense, and the score was close, but in the end, Team A emerged victorious, winning by a single point. But it was not just about winning or losing, it was about the experience, the feeling of being a part of something new, something exciting. It was a game that would change the world forever, a game that would capture the hearts and minds of millions of people around the globe, a game that would become a way of life. The students left the gymnasium that day, their hearts beating with excitement, knowing that they had just witnessed the birth of a legend, a game that would live forever, a game called basketball. Little did they know, that this game would become a global phenomenon, with professional leagues and superstars, with millions of fans and billions of dollars, all thanks to the brilliant mind and boundless imagination of one man, James Naismith. It was a game that was not just a game, it was a legacy that would be passed on from generation to generation, a legacy that would live forever. Number 3. It was a time of change, a time of new beginnings. The world was emerging from the darkness of war and the people were ready for something new, something exciting. And that's when the idea of a professional basketball league was born. In 1946, a group of entrepreneurs and basketball enthusiasts founded the Basketball Association of America, BAA. It was a bold move, a gamble in a time when professional basketball was still in its infancy. But they were determined to make it a success. They scoured the country for the best players, the biggest stars, the ones who could capture the hearts and minds of the fans. But they weren't the only ones with this idea. Another league, the National Basketball League, NBL, had the same vision. In 1949, the two leagues joined forces and the National Basketball Association, NBA, was born. It was a moment of history, a moment when the game of basketball would change forever. The NBA would become the premier professional basketball league in the world, a league of giants, a league of legends, a league of dreams. From that day on, the game of basketball would never be the same. It would become a cultural phenomenon, a way of life for millions of people around the globe. It was a game that would live forever, a game that would be passed on from generation to generation, a game that would inspire and entertain, a game that would become a part of the fabric of American culture. The NBA would become a league of superstars, of iconic teams and legendary players, a league that would capture the hearts and minds of fans around the world. It would become a billion-dollar industry, with franchises worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and a global reach that would transcend borders and cultures. All of this started with the bold move of a group of entrepreneurs, who had a vision, a dream, to make basketball a professional sport. And that dream came true, with the creation of the National Basketball Association. A league that will live forever, and continues to capture the imagination of fans around the world. Number 4. He was a force of nature, a player unlike any other. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time. He stepped onto the court and the world would be forever changed. He played for the Chicago Bulls from 1984 to 1993 and from 1996 to 1998, and in that time he accomplished things that no other player had ever done before. He won 6 championships, and was MVP, Most Valuable Player, 5 times. He was not just a scoring machine, but a complete player. He could play defense and was a leader on the court. He led the league in scoring for 10 seasons, won 10 scoring titles, and was a 5-time MVP. He was a winner, a fierce competitor who would not accept defeat. He was the stuff of legend, a player who could soar through the air, defy gravity, and make the impossible look easy. He was a true artist on the court, with a style and grace that was unmatched. Off the court, he was a marketable figure, being the first athlete to become a true global icon and a cultural phenomenon. He had his own shoe line, a successful line of clothing and accessories, and his own restaurant. His name became synonymous with greatness, and his legacy will live on forever. He was a player that made the impossible possible. He inspired a generation, and he will continue to inspire generations to come. He was Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, and his legacy will live forever. Even today, years after his retirement, he remains one of the most iconic figures in the world of sports. His impact on the game of basketball and popular culture is undeniable. Number 5. It was the biggest game of the year, the culmination of months of grueling competition and hard work. The best of the best, the elite of the elite, all gathered on one court to decide who would be crowned champion. The NBA Finals, known as the All-Star Game, has been played annually since 1951, pitting the best players from the Western Conference against the best players from the Eastern Conference. It was a showdown of skill, strategy, and determination, a test of will and strength. The game was always intense, the players pushing themselves to the limit, leaving everything on the court. The crowd was electric, the tension palpable, and the stakes were high. Every year, the best players in the league were selected to participate in the All-Star Game, and it was an honor and a privilege to be chosen. The game was always a showcase of the best players in the league, and it was always a treat for the fans. For the players, it was a chance to prove themselves, to show the world what they were made of. It was a chance to make a name for themselves, to etch their names in the annals of history. For the fans, it was a chance to see their heroes in action, to witness the best players in the world compete at the highest level. The All-Star Game was a reminder of why we love the game of basketball, and why the NBA will continue to be the premier league in the world. Number 6. It was a new era in the world of basketball, an era of global expansion and diversity. The National Basketball Association, NBA, was no longer just an American league, it was a global league. Players from all over the world were now competing at the highest level of the sport, bringing their unique skills and talents to the court. Countries like Brazil, France, Serbia, and Nigeria were now represented in the NBA, and the game was better for it. The first international player to be selected in the first round of the NBA draft was Yao Ming, a towering center from China, in 2002. He was a trailblazer, a pioneer, a symbol of the global reach of the NBA. He was a player who changed the game, who opened the doors for other international players to follow in his footsteps. His selection in the first round of the draft was a sign that the NBA was ready for the world, and the world was ready for the NBA. The international players brought a unique perspective to the game, a different way of looking at the sport, and this enriched the league in ways that couldn't have been imagined. They brought new styles of play, new strategies, and new ways of thinking. They were ambassadors for the game, spreading the love of basketball to new and uncharted territories, and the league was better for it. The NBA today is a diverse and global league, and players like Yao Ming helped pave the way for that transformation. Number 7. It was a league of power, a league of wealth, a league that stood tall above all others. The National Basketball Association, NBA, was not just a sports league, it was a symbol of success, a representation of the American dream. It was a league that had become a billion-dollar industry, an economic powerhouse, and a cultural phenomenon. In 2020, the NBA was valued at $8 billion, making it the most valuable sports league in the world. It was a league that had come a long way, from its humble beginnings as a winter activity for school children, to a global powerhouse that commanded the attention of millions of fans around the world. It was a league that had become a symbol of excellence, a league that had transcended the boundaries of sport and become a part of the fabric of American culture. It was a league that had overcome adversity, and had emerged stronger for it. It was a league that had become a symbol of hope, of determination, and of resilience. It was a league that had become a source of inspiration for countless young people, a league that had become a shining example of what is possible when you believe in yourself, and when you work hard. The NBA was not just a league, it was an institution, and it will live forever, as an enduring symbol of the American dream. Number 8. It was a league of longevity, a league where careers were built on hard work and dedication. The National Basketball Association, NBA, was not just a place for young men to showcase their talents, it was a place where men could grow and evolve, a place where careers could flourish and thrive. The players who had the privilege of competing in the NBA for a long time, were the ones who had put in the work, the ones who had overcome challenges, the ones who had become true warriors of the game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Robert Parrish were two such players, who had the privilege of playing in the league for an astonishing 20 and 21 seasons respectively, even into their 40s. Their careers were built on a foundation of work ethic, discipline, and dedication. They were not just athletes, they were artists, craftsmen, and warriors, who had honed their skills over the years and had reached the pinnacle of their profession. Their careers were a testament to the power of perseverance, and the rewards that come with it. They were an inspiration to young players, showing them that with hard work and dedication, anything is possible. Their longevity in the league was not just a remarkable achievement in sports, but it was a reminder of the beauty of the human spirit, and that the sky is the limit if you are willing to put in the work. Number 9. It was a league of passion, a league that had captured the hearts and minds of people from all walks of life, from all corners of the globe. The National Basketball Association, NBA, was not just a game, it was a cultural phenomenon, a unifying force that brought people together. The league had a fan base that spanned across 215 countries and territories, and it was broadcasted in 47 different languages, making it accessible to people from all over the world. The NBA had become a global brand, transcending the boundaries of sport and becoming a part of popular culture. The players, the teams, and the game had become household names, and the league had become a source of inspiration and hope for people from all backgrounds. It was a league that had become a symbol of excellence, a league that had become a source of pride for millions of fans around the world. The NBA was not just a league of basketball, it was a league of humanity, a league that had become a reflection of the world we live in. It was a league that had brought people together, a league that had broken down barriers, and a league that had become a source of hope, inspiration, and joy. It was a league that had become a part of our lives, and it will remain so forever. Number 10. It was a league of breaking barriers, a league that had always been at the forefront of change and progress. The National Basketball Association, NBA, was not just a game, it was a reflection of society and the world we live in. And in 1991, Lucia Harris, a college basketball player, made history by becoming the first woman to play in an NBA game, suiting up for the New Orleans Jazz during a training camp. She was a trailblazer, a pioneer, a symbol of the progress and the changing times. Her presence on the court was a reminder that anything is possible, that no dream is too big, and that no barrier is too high to break. Her participation in the game was a sign that the NBA was ready for change, and that change was long overdue. Her legacy lives on today, as more and more women are breaking barriers in the sport of basketball and in the world of sports. She was a reminder that anything is possible, and that no dream is too big. Her historic achievement was a sign of the progress that has been made and the progress that is yet to come. Lucia Harris was not just a player, she was a symbol of hope, of determination, and of progress. Final. In conclusion, we have explored the top 10 fascinating facts about American basketball. From its invention in 1891 by James Naismith as a way to keep his students active during the winter, to the first official game played in 1892, the formation of the National Basketball Association in 1949, the career of the greatest player of all time Michael Jordan, the NBA All-Star Game, the presence of international players in the league's longevity, its global fan base and the current valuation of $8 billion, and the historic achievement of Lucia Harris becoming the first woman to play in an NBA game. We hope you enjoyed learning about these interesting facts and the rich history of American basketball. Thank you for watching, and we encourage you to share this video with friends and family who may also be interested in the topic. For more information on American basketball, and other related videos, be sure to check the links provided in the video's description on YouTube. Thank you again for watching, and we hope you'll join us for more interesting content in the future.
Soundstripe.